So in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to be a high performance individual. My name is Prithvi and I'm the founder and managing director of a healthcare investment company based in UAE. And in the last 3 years, I have negotiated a $3.5 million deal, a $10 million deal, a $25 million deal, a $120 million deal, and a $140 million deal. And I'm just 29 years old and I didn't even finish college. And I am not from UAE. I had no contacts in the UAE. And having no contacts in the UAE, just using my phone and my laptop, I managed to get some of the most high profile executives in the whole country, including a CEO of a $3.5 billion company, a publicly listed company. And I also managed to get a lawyer that advised on a $13 billion transaction. It's one of the largest deals in the region. And apart from these two individuals, I've got two healthcare CEOs that have 30 years of experience who are my business partners. And I'm the founder of the company, and I managed to do this within 60 days. Not only that, in the last 8 to 9 years, even though I was a smoker, I haven't had a cigarette, and for good 7 years, I didn't have alcohol also. And I practiced, before I started building this company, I was a lot into yoga and spirituality, and I was practicing at a point for a good period of 6 months, 8 to 9 hours of yoga every day during the time when I was getting trained as a yoga teacher in Isha Yoga Center, which is owned by Sadhguru. And I was there being trained as a yoga teacher. And after that, for good 4-5 years, I was doing yoga 3 to 5 hours a day. So starting off with yoga, spirituality, going into building this company. And since the age of 9, I have been running 5-kilometer marathons at the age of 9 and 10. So I know something about high performance, and I come from a very humble beginning, and I managed to still accomplish these feats. And I'm going to talk a little bit about my mental frameworks that I have learned from my mentors and that I have implemented and used. There is nothing that I'm going to share here on my channel that I have not done myself. Okay, this is not just coming from a book. I have implemented this in the last decade and decades. And I might add, I wanted to get good at dating and meeting beautiful women. And I have dated runway models. I have dated, extremely beautiful women that I thought were out of my league. And in what type of environments these women are. They're always guarded and they are always, in protected environments. And just to be able to talk to them is a big deal, okay? So for me to do all of this at the age of 29, born in India, raised by a single mother, is quite something, I think, from where I started off. And the reason I was able to do these things, were I was applying some principles that I'm going to share in this video. Okay, so how do you be a high performance individual? Step number 1 is that you need to have a goal. You need to have a purpose. Performance is happening because towards a fulfillment of a goal that matters to you, that's important to you, that's authentic to you, that speaks to you. A dream, a vision that you have in your mind. Maybe you haven't even talked to yourself about it. Maybe you haven't talked to anybody else about it, but you have it in your mind. And it's right there somewhere, but you haven't allowed it to come out because maybe you were suppressed by your environment, or maybe you have written it down. But the first step is to write down all your goals. Since the age of 10 or 12, I have been seeing myself in a Ferrari in my mind. My teachers would be slapping me on the head. You're a dreamer, wake up. What are you thinking about? And I have been dreaming about being around beautiful women, and I've been dreaming about wearing a couple of $1,000 suits that I'm wearing right now. And my mom's salary was a couple of $1,000 a month. So for me to get a suit of that amount was just out of my reach. It was just something so far beyond me that if you knew me from a few decades ago, you would know how far things have happened. And it's not just age, it's not just life, it's very intentional things that I did. So first thing is, you want to write down goals in great detail. When I wrote down my goals, it was in great detail. The color of the car, the model of the car, the price of the car, the suit I want to wear, the company that I want to wear the suit of, the type of women, the eye color of the woman I want to be with, the hair color of the woman I want to be with, the clothes that the women. I've been doing this since I'm 17 years old. I've been setting these goals, financial goals, how much money I want to make, where I want to live, houses, locations where I want to live, types of businesses I want to have, the types of people I want to associate with. I'll tell you something. I wrote down an affirmation that I want to do business with Prince Al Walid in my lifetime. Okay, he's a big investor in Saudi Arabia, and he has acquired many companies, major stakes in many companies, including Twitter, okay, Apple, Tropicana, all of these big companies. He's a Saudi individual, His Highness, Prince Al Walid bin Talal, that's what his name is. He's worth around $30 billion, $35 billion. And I wanted to get in business with him. And I made this goal, I wrote down on my goals, and it turned out that 2 of my board members, in fact 3 of my board members, 3 of my business partners are directly or indirectly connected with him. And one of them is very directly connected with him. Is that a coincidence? I don't think so. I don't think so. Because first, when I knew about Prince Al Walid, I was 17. I'm 29. How is it that the people that I got together, intuitively, using my gut feeling, I felt something when I was in front of these people. My gut feeling, the intelligence, just there was something connected, and then we came into business partnership. None of these things that happened in my life happened because of accident, because of luck, or because of coincidence. It was all intentional. I did it while being aware. Some of it I did it without being aware of what I was doing. So step number 1 is, you want to write down your goal, and your goal has to be authentic to you. Don't copy something that your family wants you to do. You got to write down things that are important to you, that matter to you, that calls you. Once you write down the goal, that possibility of living that lifestyle, the possibility of living that dream should move you into tears, should move you to a point where you want to wake up in the morning and you want to make the sacrifices. My mother used to get these free tickets to these destinations from her company if she achieved certain targets, and I was always traveling because of that, because we were getting free tickets as a child, and I would see these beautiful, like suits that the CEOs were wearing, the beautiful women that they were with, the types of hotels, 5-star hotels they lived in. And the first time when I traveled to Dubai, I saw the Penthouses, I saw the Supercars, all my Supercars, and I thought to myself, I want this lifestyle. That day I decided I'm going to have this lifestyle. It's not a coincidence that I lived in Dubai. 5 years I was living in Dubai. And the building that I saw, one of the penthouses, I ended up staying in with my brother. It was his penthouse, I was staying with him. So it still happened. I've driven all my favorite cars. I need to buy them now. I know I'm going to buy them, but I'm just saying that none of this I thought was possible. And I remember recently, a couple of years ago, I was with this beautiful runway model. I was walking out of Nobu restaurant. It's one of the top restaurants in Atlantis. And I was like, I have become the guy. This is what I saw. CEOs walking out of restaurants and hotels with beautiful women, and I have become that person. So it happens. Your goals, your dreams, they come true. If you don't set them, it will not happen. Your mind is very powerful. It can make things happen. So you got to write them down. You got to write your goals down. Once you write your goals down, it has to be real, grounded in authenticity. It has to be true to you. Those goals are true to me. Now I see myself taking companies public, living, dealing with big politicians, dealing with big businessmen, billionaires around these people. And I'm getting, day by day, I can see the trajectory of my life is heading there. And I'm starting to see what I saw 10 years ago in front of me. So it takes time for these things to happen. So you got to have a compelling goal, because performance is driven by your goals, your dreams, and your aspirations that are emotionally compelling and emotionally moving to you. They matter to you. And when you have those types of goals, and when you're sold, when you sell yourself on those goals, then the performance part comes after that, not before that. Otherwise, why would you sacrifice the time with your friends? You love them, they love you. They have been by you for so long. Why would you spend time away from family? There is no reason to do it. When you write down your goals, and when it's something so moving to you, and I used to think, I have one life, I want to experience all of these things. Will I ever experience all of these things? It would keep me awake at night. I wanted to, I was just burning with this fire. And this fire that you burn with, once you write down your goals and you're visualizing, the other thing is, once you write down the goal, you got to visualize it. When you visualize it, it just burns, and it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you got to keep it on, keep this thing on. People tell me, Prithvi, the women sometimes tell me, Prithvi, you're not with me. I said, yes, I'm thinking about the future. I'm thinking about 5 years from now, 10 years from now, when I'll be speaking on the stage. I'm thinking about that time right now. I'm visualizing all the fucking time. It's an obsession. You got to make it an obsession. Then the other thing I do is I put pictures of the goals, and I create a big vision board, and I put it around my whole room where I sleep, and I see it every day. Because if I tell you think about a burger, then or think about your dream house, it's hard to come up with it. But if your dream house, you have taken a picture and you have put it there, you don't have to create that house in your mind. The picture itself gets imprinted in your mind. And mind is really the control center of your whole body. And results are produced by using your body and your mind. So programming your mind to see that before it has happened is absolutely critical. Absolutely critical. I cannot tell you how many times I have dreamt about being with a woman, and after a couple of years, not immediately, but after a couple of years, I was with a woman like that. So it's happened so many times for me to now doubt it. But it's after 10 years now. But I'm telling you, take my word for it, it works. It works. You need to talk about it with people that you trust, and then they believe in you, you believe in them, like a support system. I have one friend that I talk to my goals about, and he shares his, I share mine, and we have an agreement. So you need to have those people around you to keep that dream alive. When you have that dream alive, then performance is driven by that dream. That possibility drives you. You're not driving the possibility anymore. It has become real in your mind, so vivid, so colorful, so clear, that calls for action. That calls you for action. That moves you into action. It doesn't let you sleep. It doesn't let you sleep. The other thing I do is I go visit that penthouse. I go visit that. I posted a video where I visited a $7.5 million ocean penthouse. I visited a $11 million penthouse also. I was going to visit a $50 million penthouse, which was in the Royal Atlantis, 360-degree ocean view penthouse. I wanted to see it. And I'll tell you something, I did not go see that one. I saw the 11 or $13 million penthouse, which was for 40,000 square feet on top. One of the biggest penthouses in Dubai, okay? I was in that penthouse and I was like, okay, it's going to be whatever. I've seen big houses. I've seen $100 million house also. But this penthouse, when I stood there, I saw the, the large ceilings, full glass 360 view of the downtown area. It absolutely blew my mind, and it put me in a position of someone who could afford it. And I could see that penthouse from that person's position. Because to me, it's my dream penthouse. To that person, it would be his home. And it's a very different perspective that I see it as a dream and he sees it as his home. And so I got to get into that perspective and see that. Another thing I do is renting cars, supercars, and driving them. Seeing how it feels when people look at you. Posting it online, seeing how people see that and gives you reaction. It changes your mind. You get sold on that dream. You got to sell yourself on the dream. Sometimes you will have the doubts. Is it worth it? Am I doing the right thing? So you got to sell yourself. You have to go visit that penthouse and go drive that car and expose yourself. It's something that I learned not just from Dan Pena. Even before I met Dan Pena, I did it. I would visit and I would go for window shopping and I would try the clothes that I wanted to wear. All of these things program your mind and really sell you on your own dream. Once you are sold, then you can justify making sacrifices, getting rid of friends who are not aligned with your goal. You got to get rid of all your friends who are not aligned to this goal. You got to get rid of family members. This is a tricky one. Who are not aligned with the goals. And that's a tough one, but you got to do it. The other thing, you got to get the right mentor who have been there or on the way to go there or have been around people who have been there, who can share with you and direct you, who has walked the path to guide you. And you got to position yourself around them. That's another strategy that you follow, is you get the right information. You need information to make this happen, right? You need information to get this happen. The other thing I do is I convert these goals into numbers, financial digits. And these are after-tax numbers. Okay, so you want to write down all the numbers, associated with it. Once you have done that, then you got to find the right vehicle. And typically that vehicle is a business. Okay, and you got to find the right business model. And so on. And you go from there. But the most important thing is the goal, the dream, and you being sold on that dream, and that dream being authentic to you. It has to move you. And then everything that comes after that becomes important. The sacrifices, all of that work that you have to do, and it becomes, meaningless in the context of the dream, because your dream is so big that it doesn't matter how much work you have to do. One of the most high performance individuals is Elon Musk. What's his goals? He wants to go to the Mars. He wants to take the whole civilization to Mars. And he wants to, transform petrol cars into electric cars so that there is no pollution, there is sustainable energy. And the other one is, solar. And now he's getting into AI. So his dreams drive that kind of performance out of him. So his dreams and his purpose. So you got to have a purpose. You can't be, a feather in the wind, living spontaneously or living blowing with the wind wherever the crowd goes. Recently I was taking a walk in Bali here, and I saw this crowd was just moving wherever the party was going. It's like a herd mentality. The music is there, everybody's just moving there, and food is there and everybody's just moving there. There is no anchor there. That power to say no, the reason to say no is not there. Why would you say no if you don't have a strong enough reason to say no? So you got to have that reason, and all of that is the goal. And the goals have to be big, because big goals drive big performances. Okay, high performance. High performance is always in the context of a goal that's big, that's magnificent. If it's not big enough, you're not going to be sold on it. If you're not sold on it, you will not perform. You will not want to perform. It won't be worth it. So you got to think big. It has to be magnificent, all encompassing. It has to take over you. It has to take care of everything, your family, you, your future girlfriend, your wife, your children, all those people. It has to encompass all of that, and it has to be very big, and it has to be beautiful. It has to be vivid. Write it down and see what happens. You will start to eventually, in a couple of months' time, this thing will grow on you. Create a vision board. This thing will grow on you. It will program you. And then write down all the skills that you need to achieve this goal. Okay, some of it, I'm sharing this with you, is coming from Tony Robbins, who I attended a lot of programs with. So he shares this. You gotta, write down the skills that you need. Then you gotta find the people who can teach you those skills. You acquire those skills, you acquire the information of people who have already done it, and boom, you have what you want. And through all of this, what you will have is high performance. And that's the point of the video. Okay? And if you are someone who wants to get involved in a high performance career, okay, it's not for everybody. Okay, it's not for everybody. It's literally not for everybody. It's something called as mergers and acquisitions, where you buy multi-million-dollar businesses. Okay, this is how I chose my career, was based on my goals and my dreams. And this career, this position that I'm in right now, allows me to be a high performance individual. Your position has to allow you to be a high performance individual. If your position, that environment that you're in, the company that you're in, the job, the role that you're in, doesn't have those kinds of demands, high performance is not going to come out of you. So the reason I could do these things is because I was put into those things, into those positions, and I had to figure my way out. So if that's you, reach out to me. I train entrepreneurs one-on-one. This is going to be a one-on-one mentorship with you and me. If you like the video, reach out to me and we'll talk what can be worked out.